your pocket to potentially reinvest in something else, but also not miss out on the market passing you up where you can't get back in, because that's a valid concern. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Real Deal. This week, we're going to be talking about when you're selling your home with the intent of cashing out in this market. Okay, so there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of media out there saying that, hey, you know what, the housing prices are elevated 2-3 years. The prices of homes are going to come down. And all the experts say otherwise, right? All the experts say that this market will continue to be rising for the next couple of years. And there might be a slowdown where the offers aren't coming in as aggressive, right? There might be a slowdown where, instead of getting 20, 30 offers on a house, maybe you're getting 5 offers. And that definitely could be the case, right? When rates eventually go up in a couple of years, then there's going to have to be some sort of a balancing act. However, most of the time when sellers are getting these recommendations or this advice, it's from people, from friends and family, right? They're telling you, hey, cash out, sell your house now, because in 2 or 3 years you're going to be able to buy the house a lot cheaper, half the price. That's not going to happen. I can't foresee that happening. There's just too much demand. There's too many people moving here. Okay, you got to think, ever since COVID happened, now people are working from home. And if they're working from home, then what's the point for them to pay higher taxes in the states that they live in? So I just don't foresee that happening. A lot of companies were like, you know what, we can do this. We can do this work from home without having that giant overhead of this huge building in downtown LA or downtown Seattle, right? So a lot of these buyers are working from home and they still have their great pay. So then they're coming to our beautiful state and they're investing in real estate here. And then, of course, we have all the cash investors that are gobbling up the real estate, the entry-level price points. I mean, they're just getting gobbled up by cash buyers. So you got to think about that. I mean, there might be a slowdown due to rising interest rates in the next, 2 to 3 years. Rates are supposed to go up, and that will cause a slowdown, right? There's going to be a balancing act. But I don't foresee it's going to go down in a significant amount like people are anticipating. So what can you do to be able to cash out, right? Still be able to cash out and have your much hard-earned equity, in your pocket to potentially reinvest in something else, but also not miss out on the market passing you up where you can't get back in, because that's a valid concern, not being able to jump back in because the prices of houses continue to go up. Right? And then what if you're having to wait 10 years to get back into a home and you rented for the last 10 years? Think about how much money you're going to waste doing that. So if you're in a situation where you're considering going from selling your home to renting a home and paying more on rent, then possibly consider just downsizing. So cash out your house, sell your home, right? If you have this, this nice, beautiful, big 2-story home, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and you're considering, renting as opposed to owning your home, then sell your home, cash out your money, but downsize, right? Go and buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with 5% down. Go and buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo and put 5% down. So that way you still have the majority of your money savings in your savings account. You still have that money there, but you're still owning a home. And then if the market continues to rise the way it's anticipated to keep rising, at least you know that you still have some value. You still have some equity that's growing in your property. Now, obviously, a cheaper, more affordable home isn't going to, it's going to appreciate at the same rate as a more expensive home, but obviously the dollar amount is going to be less. So then you got to consider that too. If you're in a bigger price and a higher price home, then obviously when it appreciates in value, the dollar amount is going to appreciate at a higher dollar amount than a lower price home. But at least you don't feel like you're missing out, right? So worst case scenario, let's say you sell your home, you cash out, you walk away with 6 figures plus. You buy your next home, maybe it takes you 5% down, 30 grand. You still have 70 grand in the bank, right? You're waiting, you're just kind of holding out, but you still have your hands on some real estate. You still own some real estate. Because the last thing you want is to cash out, like a lot of these sellers are contemplating doing. I've had a lot of conversations with sellers. They're like, oh, I just want to cash out. The market's going to crash in 2 or 3 years. I'm going to buy something for pennies on the dollar in a couple of years. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to be a slowdown. There's going to be a correction. There's going to be a balancing act somewhere in there. but I don't predict it's going to happen anywhere near what happened in 2008 and 2009. And if you care to debate me, please reach out to me. We'll have a great conversation about that. Come into my office and I'll explain to you why I don't foresee that happening. But still maintain your hands on some real estate. Still keep your hands on some real estate. Still have some ownership in a property. So that way, if the market continues to rise, you're still going to have a property that's building equity along with it. Okay. So hopefully this helps you make the decision. If you've been thinking about selling, if you've been thinking about cashing out like a lot of sellers are doing, right? Consider that as an alternative. Still own some real estate. Don't just go and rent for the next 5-10 years. That's just going to be throwing money away. I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Send me a direct message. Thank you much and have a good one.